abusia ahaye de tutu so asem asi arawo sem ababe to bia say wo Mexico mamu yenim say Mexico wa host World Cup no bi Mexico, Canada and USA omo na host World Cup na enra arawo sem asi e wo Mexico ni say drug cartel na US for the $50 million e dia to ni 3 so say wa wo betima twi sa drug baron guru cartel no ye de say sika be chew free sanse akwan wa GDP pa e wo Mexico mamu ye kami cocaine the whole of Mexico the US obi ani ho enti ya hwehwe ma che in cooperation with Mexico military no US intelligence and your cambo mu omo say work up ba enti also omo makwan mu ye boko se na be amanfo emenunum koki wo honye basabasa eno mu di sie ni endra e wo Mexico na me say sa cartel no e wo military asojafo a omo wa training omo a omo na ebo ne bo ban na so endra ye kun cartel no efiri wo ya e wo Mexico mu na ye kun no wie no e chira senteja ne nkrofo a anani gang a omo tai na chi no atie si Mexico abontie so wo ye hia wa train ye kukuni pa sen kokko e hihye stores and ye Mexico mamu de enyagro abusia ama work out for Mexico for no e be ye din pa say Mexico bitima host work out ni bi ye nim de bisi ye tie video no ase.
Mexico is feeling the wrath of a powerful drug cartel after an army operation resulted in the death of its leader, known as El Mencho. He was one of the most wanted men in both Mexico and the United States. After his killing, violence erupted across the country, closing airports, schools, and public transport.
An immediate wave of violence started spreading in Mexico. Arson attacks by cartel members seeking revenge after the Mexican army captured Nemesio Segura, also known as El Mencho. He was the leader of Mexico's most powerful cartel, with a $15 million bounty for information leading to his arrest. Mexican officials say he was seriously injured during a military raid and died while being airlifted to a hospital. Within hours, gunmen set fire to cars and businesses and blocked highways in several states across Mexico. In some towns, residents were warned to stay indoors. Look, now we're scared. We only go out when it's necessary because people don't know whether to go out or what to do. The U.S. Embassy in Mexico City has issued an urgent warning for American citizens in parts of Mexico to shelter in place until further notice. Dozens of U.S. and Canadian flights to Mexico have already been canceled. The U.S. says it provided intelligence to aid Mexican special forces. The killing of El Mencho is seen as a sign that Mexico is taking pressure from the U.S. administration to stop cocaine and fentanyl trafficking far more seriously than it has before.
On February 20th, through Central Military Intelligence Operations, a trusted associate of one of Mencho's romantic partners was located, who transported her to a facility in the town of Tapalpa, Jalisco. At that location, this romantic partner met with Mencho, and on February 21st, she left the property and information was obtained that Mencho, he remained at that location. He stayed there with a security circle. On the same February 21st, the operation planning was carried out. With your permission, Madam President, good morning to everyone. Thank you very much for your valuable remarks, Madam President. That motivates us to work every day for the benefit of the population. And I will pass on those comments you made to all the personnel deployed throughout the country. Well, regarding the operation that was carried out yesterday, by way of background, I can tell you that Ruben N., also known as El Mencho, head of the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, began his involvement in drug trafficking in the 1990s in Michoacán as a member of the Valencia Group or the Millennium Cartel. Since that time, he has already started to be considered a significant target. Subsequently, in May 2016, the United States added him to its list of most wanted fugitives, and he was wanted by a court in the Western District of Texas. In August 2018, the Attorney General's office offered a reward of 30 million pesos for information leading to the capture of El Mencho. In December 2024, the United States government offered $15 million for information leading to the capture of this individual. With Central Military Intelligence and additional information from the institutions of the Security Cabinet, as well as from United States institutions, the Secretariat of National Defense tracked El Mencho's network of connections until the conditions were right to plan an operation for his arrest. As you all know very well, the intelligence process is very complicated and requires a lot of time. It requires gathering a great deal of information, many data points, and numerous clues from various sources, both national and international. Mexico has agreements, even with other countries and organizations such as Interpol and Europol, among others. We, as the armed forces, have greatly strengthened our relationship with the United States Northern Command, and that exchange of information is extremely important. On February 20th, through Central Military Intelligence Operations, a trusted associate of one of Mencho's romantic partners was located, who transported her to a facility in the town of Tapalpa, Jalisco. At that location, this romantic partner met with Mencho, and on February 21st, she left the property and information was obtained that Mencho, he remained at that location. He stayed there with a security circle.
You don't be as so team by. Aha, and yet,
It is doctrinal, it is an axiom of military operations.